Everybody, today we're going to continue our Tamiya TT-02 Type SR build. And today we're going to be working on step 28, which is the steering assembly. And it's one step, it's fairly simple. It's not as complicated as putting together the arms and the uprights, for example. So let's get started. I have all the parts here. Let's go ahead and start with looking for identifying all the parts. Make sure we have them all. So you need these button head long screws, and the reason you need these is because on the Type SR it features a bolt-thru steering design. Instead of an aftermarket kit that you would need to find the long screws to bolt through and the nut on top, this actually comes with it. So that's a feature that is not found in the standard TT-02, which I have one here. The standard TT-02, the screws are on top. So instead of coming from the bottom, the standard TT-02 goes on top. So that's something we can test out when we're done. Okay. And then next we have these flathead screws. We got two of those. We have these black ball studs. You have one blue ball stud. You need two of these turnbuckles. And you need four of these rod ends. And two of these lock nuts. Two of these flange tubes, and two of these shorter flange tubes. And those are all the parts. And just like we did in the previous step, a couple of steps ago, we need to build the turnbuckles. Okay, so for the first step, we need to put together these links, steering links, and we're going to start with one of these turnbuckles. I'm going to hold it with my wrench here, shaft wrench here, and I'm going to use my rod end tool to turn this. Notice I'm turning counterclockwise to tighten it. And I mentioned this in a previous video. The reason why one side is counterclockwise and the other side is clockwise is so that when this is mounted onto the chassis and you need to make adjustments to lengthen or shorten this rod, you turn this hex nut here, and the action either going that direction or this direction would lengthen or shorten this rod, so giving you steering adjustments, throw adjustments by doing that. And that's the reason why one side, you notice this side is clockwise. Okay, got that started. And you notice there, the manual says the gap between the two rod ends need to be 7 millimeters. So I'm going to stop when I get a little bit closer and measure with my caliper. Probably went too far on that. I'd like these to be kind of even in the middle so that I have enough adjustability on both sides. I have a feeling this is going to be a little bit longer than 7. Okay, 8.4. I'm going to go ahead and turn this side now. And for this side, I'm going to turn counterclockwise to tighten. Okay. Take a look. 7.7. Now I will do both sides. So this side clockwise 2 turns, and this side counterclockwise 2 turns. And let's measure again. 6.7. 6.8. So let me back it out 1 turn each, or about half a turn each. Oops. and see where we are. Oops. 6.3. Oh, must have dropped it and flipped it the other way. So let's try counterclockwise this way and clockwise this way. I have a feeling I tightened it again. Let's take a look. Okay, very close, 7.2. So let's do that one turn and see how we are. 7.4. 6.8. We'll get it. 7.0. There we are. And I've already built the second one. So let's go ahead and move on to the next step. Okay, let's go ahead and continue. And so the first thing we're going to do is put together the steering links right here. And we need to find the bridge and the two arms. And I believe they go this direction. Yep. Okay, so let's go ahead and put all the ball ends in. And I believe this blue one goes on to the bridge. And on this, the bridge is the same on both sides. I'm going to start this by hand. And grab, let's see if I can start this by hand. If not, I'll just use the T-wrench. Okay. Okay. This plastic is pretty hard. And obviously it's not pre-tapped, so it's a little bit of a struggle, but not a big deal. There it is. And now let's go ahead and find the black ball studs and place them on this end. Okay, I'm going to use, it's going to be a little bit harder to use. This one we need to use our 2mm hex driver. Again, it's going to be on this side. So let me find the other ball stud. Here it is. This time I'm going to use my electric. Okay. So next step, these flange tubes or sleeve-like things go on the bottom, and this flathead screw goes through like that. And oops, it goes through here. Now it goes through the bridge. Put the flange under the bridge, and it's going to go into the end here. Sorry for that confusion. Okay, obviously you want free movement here. See how far I can go without. Okay, it's completely free. All right. Let me grab the one I dropped. There it is. And same thing, the sleeve goes on the bottom, the flange tube goes on the bottom, flathead screw goes on top, and it goes through like so. Okay. Oops. Okay. All right, so that's done. So what you have here is the bridge with the ball stud and the two arms with the ball studs there. Okay, now let's grab the chassis. Okay, so the next part is actually kind of difficult. So what we need to do is put the flange tubes in here, hold it there while we put these long screws from the bottom. And I've already greased the end of the screws here. I think the first thing I'm going to do is put these screws through. Okay. Alrighty. And now the steering links have something to hold on to. Doing it the other way would be quite difficult. So the sleeves are already there. We can drive the bolts through a little bit further, and we do need to do that because there's going to be a nut that tightens it all down. So let me go ahead and do that. Okay, so now it looks like there's plenty of room for the nut to hold on to. And there we go. I probably over tightened that because I don't have a lot of movement here. And loosen that some more. That is still pretty tight. Let me loosen it a lot. Let's see. Okay. That's a lot better. Okay, the final step is to put the links onto the steering, connect them to the uprights here. So the easiest way I found to do this is to do this side first. and just press straight down. Okay, and then on this side, I just go ahead and take a pair of pliers and apply pressure that way. And that's a piece of cake. And there you go. So the servo is going to attach here, servo saver and the arm. There's going to be a link, and then it's going to move these, and there you go. Then you have steering. Okay, so that was step 28 of the Tamiya TT-02 Type SR kit. And what's coming up next is the electronics, and the servo comes up next first. So it's all related to this, to the steering. So in the next video, we're going to be testing all of the electronics, and we're going to mount the servo. So I hope you enjoyed this series. I hope you learned something today. Hope you learn how to put this together. I hope I could help you in any way. If you have any comments or suggestions, please leave it below. Appreciate if you can give me a like and subscribe, turn on notification, and I'll see you guys in the next one.